Now, were there any like tales from behind the set, like crushes, games of spin the bottle, somebody hooking up at Pleasure Island or something?
I'm sure we all had a crush on all of them at some point, but it usually never worked out because we were working together every day, all the time.
Right.
And like even the ones that we were on tour with, it was like, we were like brothers and sisters.
Of course, in that type of situation, you're definitely gonna have that. Now, they had canceled the show in around '94, and now when I was talking with Stephen Clements, he was saying that the reason why they canceled it because they felt that Justin, Brittany, Christina, and that new batch couldn't really carry the show, and they decided to cancel it, which I think is a boo-boo the fool move, seeing where they are now.
Well, I think everybody has their own opinion on that, because I don't know if Steve Clemens wasn't necessarily there when that happened, so that's probably what he thinks and knows, and I really don't know. I don't think anybody really knows. I think, it had been on for 7 seasons. That's a pretty long run for a show. I think it would have still been successful, but I also know that they cleaned house over there at Disney, and I think they had a bunch of new executives come in, just they wanted to change it up. But that's a pretty long run for a show, so I don't think it's a failure of any sort that it's actually canceled. I think a lot of us were ready to get off the show, but just to move on,
Now, what happened after the show went off? Did you have kind of like a tough time going back into regular life, or did you still wanted to try the whole Hollywood thing and try your luck with the music thing once again?
Oh, I already had an apartment in Hollywood. I went straight back. A lot of us haven't stopped, man. I mean, it's never been really a regular life. I went straight back and went to auditions. I did like X-Files and Seventh Heaven and Buffy the Vampire Slayer and a couple films. Just kept acting and just kept putting my head in there and going for it. And what's really been interesting for me is just sitting down and writing songs, and really getting into writing songs more as a skill. So I have partners, and we've been writing, and that's kind of what I really stuck my head in. But I'm still around and singing. I just did some tracks on Edwin McCain's new album, backgrounds for him. And, I do local commercials around here, and Kia commercial, and whatever comes up. I love singing on stuff, and of course I got my CD out now, and I still do my stuff, and as well on the side I teach music. I'm a music director at a school of rock kind of thing. It's called Rock Nation. Ooh. And we got 180 kids, and we teach them rock and roll, and it's pretty fun.
That's definitely what's up. Now, after all of that, did you ever have to face with like the fact that you're on the Mickey Mouse Club and kind of had to go through that? Like, when you go audition for a role, did they still kind of see you as that kid in the party and wearing the Mickey Mouse Club jacket?
When we were in the party, we got that a lot, especially because we were working with Dr. Dre and DOC. People were like, yeah, but you're Disney. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, yeah, but listen to the music, dude. This stuff's bumping. And but they would have that, mentality. Now, it's not even an issue. Like, people ask you, do you mind about speaking about Mickey Mouse Club? I'm like, I could care less, dude, because honestly, that was a launching pad for superstars, and there's still so many talented kids in there that haven't, had their shot, or right, haven't been in the right spot at the right time, or whatever. But no, there's no shame there with me, man. I've got no problems. And people do stop every now and then and say, hey, weren't you on the Mickey Mouse Club? And I'm like, yeah, that was me. But if anything, I was a bit embarrassed about what I was wearing and the way I had my hair.
Yeah, but the spike poof, because I remember you guys did like a concert special, and you had like the puffed up hairdo, and that was just like, that's 90s fashion for you.
Yeah, like the flock of seagulls do, and whatever I could do.
Right, and do you look back at old footage and be like, dang, what was wardrobe thinking when they put me in this outfit?
Yeah, but I asked for it, so it's my fault. I was always trying to push the limits, Right before you'd go on set, they would try to tone everything down. They'd be like, oh, no, or, curl that hair over, it's too spiky, or, but they let me get away with a lot, I think.
Do you still keep in touch with the members from the party?
Yeah, I do. Most of them. I keep in touch. Damon and Albert actually got a really cool project going as well. They have a band called Indecent Posal. You can find that on MySpace as well. But they're putting together some stuff, and it's funky and rap related and danceable, and they're my boys. So I can't wait to see those guys. I don't get to see them enough, but we talk. We leave each other funny messages all the time.
Okay, and you said that Dee Dee is doing her thing on Wicked, right?
Yeah, she's in Wicked.
Okay, and what's happened with the other girl from the party?
Tiffany, we haven't spoken to Tiffany. She kind of just separated herself from it, and none of us have really spoken to her.
So basically, she's laying low, living a nice, quiet life.
Yeah, that we know of. Yeah, that we know of. I mean, who knows? She might turn around and come out with some huge album or something, and just be kind of get it together on her own without telling anybody. We don't know.
Okay, now, what was your opinion on how MMC was represented in the E! True Hollywood story that they did?
I thought they actually did a pretty good job. I did that interview, and when you do something like that, you're like, uh-oh, what are they going to do? Because other True Hollywood stories have been kind of show all the bad stuff and all the craziness, but I think they did a pretty good job of portraying what it was and the kids that were on it, and I mean, there's so much more you could go into. I mean, that was 7 seasons worth. I mean, there's a ton of material there, but I think they did a pretty good job.
Now, do you still have somewhere in the back of your closet the Mickey Mouse Club jacket?
Do I still got the jacket?
Do you still got the jacket?
That's probably at my dad's house, yeah.
Okay, so it's just somewhere sitting there and be like, Chase, Albert, Damien, yeah. Terry, Steve, yep. And you. But looking back on it now, I think with where Disney is going, you have Hannah Montana, That's So Raven, all those other shows, I think MMC is kind of primed for like a little revival amongst this generation because, with like I said, Disney is making buku bucks, so if they were to revive Mickey Mouse Club, I think it'll probably add more to the Disney juggernaut and make Mickey some more money.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a successful idea either way, no matter who's on it, especially if they audition and they get really talented kids. Since I teach little kids, I get to hear a lot of Allie and AJ and Hannah Montana and all that stuff, and, that stuff's not bad at all.
So was it kind of cool for you thinking like, hey, I was kind of a part of the Disney explosion first time around?
Totally, yeah.
And being in Orlando, it was right around the precursor to the late 90s, early 2000s teen pop explosion, second wave. And knowing then what you know now, it was kind of a special time, but with the recent allegations against Lou Pearlman, it kind of has like a little taintedness.
Yeah, if I knew now then, I would have probably wouldn't have disbanded because we didn't know the trends of music, and like at that point we were like, pop music will never be back. There's no way, And then literally, after Nirvana ran its course, all of a sudden Backstreet Boys was still going. They never stopped, and all of a sudden they come out, and Spice Girls come out, and we're back. And I'm like, look at that. See, we could have kept going, but at the same time, like I said, a lot of us were just kind of ready to go. A lot of us were ready to kind of find ourselves separately and find our own styles, and it worked out for most of us. I think it's a good thing.
Right, and what was the reaction when NSYNC came out, knowing that there were 2 Mickey Mouse Club alums in the group, Justin and JC?
I thought it was great, dude. I mean, they were, guys can sing their butts off, dude. It's amazing. And I knew Joey and I knew Chris as well. They used to come and watch us in the audience, at the Mickey Mouse Club. And so I know those guys already. So I'm friends with them, and they're all really sweet guys, and that's what matters to me. Like if somebody's just a complete egomaniac, then I'm not going to support them or talk about them at all. But yeah, those guys are great. Justin's a great guy.
Even with all the solo success, you still feel Justin is still the same kid that was doing his thing almost a decade ago in MLC, and now he's like an international superstar. Yeah,
I think he's the same guy. I totally do. He's a sweetheart, and his mom's a sweetheart. He's definitely more sure of himself and knows what he wants and can get it a lot easier. But I mean, he's a great guy, man. I haven't seen any weirdness out of those guys ever. Anytime I've ever talked to them, they've been just 100% true.
Right, and then of course everybody knows about Britney's fall from grace, Hit Me Baby One More Time, and now she's like tabloid.
That one I don't know anything about. I wish I did. I don't have any contact with her, and when she was on the show, I didn't really have a lot of contact with her, funny enough, because she was so young and just so kind of under the radar. Christina I talked to a lot more just because I was so into her voice, and I would just, pull her aside and, be like, wow, it was a great song you just did, you better keep singing, girl. Just kind of root her on as more of an older brother kind of type, because I was the older guy on the show. Yeah. I really don't know, how that happened or what happened there or if it was avoidable or anything, I really don't.
And also, I believe they said that Jessica Simpson auditioned for the Mickey Mouse Club, but she didn't make the cut.
Oh, there's lots of people who auditioned for the Mickey Mouse Club. She definitely did. Even Matt Damon and Ben Affleck auditioned for the Mickey Mouse Club.
Then I think I also heard, too, Countess Vaughn from Moesha actually auditioned for the Mickey Mouse Club.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
I've been in auditions with her before, just randomly in Hollywood.
Wow. It's a small world. Once you get in Hollywood, everybody know everybody from the audition round.
Yeah, totally.
Pretty much. Now, you're still doing music. Is there a way that people can get your music via MySpace, via iTunes, or what?
Oh, yeah, totally. iTunes, definitely on iTunes under Chasen Hampton. And then my website, buzzfly.com, BUZZFLY, or you can do the myspace.com/buzzfly.
Okay.
And I'm on the MySpace all the time, so anybody can hit me up and leave me a message, and I'll write them back.
All right, people, go ahead and get in contact with Chasen, and you will hear from the man himself, and maybe say, why I'm writing you back? Because I like you.
Right on, man.
Yeah, definitely got to put that in there. Now, do you have any shout-outs you want to give before we conclude this interview?
Just to you, man. I appreciate you giving me a heads up and giving me a call, and, I wish everyone out there a good night and rock and roll, and I hope you stop by and check out my music, man, and tell your friends, because I'd love to get out there and do some live shows out there.
All right, people, there you have it. Chasen Hampton, former Mouseketeer of the Mickey Mouse Club. Chasen, thank you for doing this interview with me, and hang on the line.
Oh, of course.
All right.